Ayo, Greg Branos here for the Coach Speak Index. Friday afternoon, time to rip off a Ball Mania 6 draft on Underdog. Have an outstanding guest today. She is a senior analyst for Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life. To say that she is a rising star would be underselling her trajectory in this fantasy space. Kendall Valenzuela, welcome.
How's it going? I'm so excited to be here with you, Greg. I'm just like, it's funny because we've talked so much about like Coach Speak Index on Sirius XM. I'll be like, hang on, let's bring up what Coach Speak Index says. And so now I get to do a draft with you, and I'm so excited to be here.
So excited to have you, and we're going to jump in a lobby right now. Ball Mania 6, 20 seconds, which is the only option now for fast drafts. We're waiting on just one person. So sorry if you're not able to get in there and wanted to get in there.
Join us.
Join us. Get in there. One person.
Why not?
And there we go. We have the fourth pick.
Oh, perfect.
We're off to the races. Yeah. And the first five, pretty nice. Actually being like right on the edge outside, like 4 or 5, like, you're getting absolute stud there. Sometimes
exactly.
Kind of shake out where like Saquon falls there sometimes.
Yeah, I've gotten Justin Jefferson has fallen a few times for me recently, but it's nice. Last season, oh my gosh, I couldn't buy a pick in the top 6. Like I always had to be at 10, 11, 12, and it was just making me so frustrated. So I'm excited this year. I've been more towards the front. So you're still getting good guys no matter what in the first round, but I'm pumped.
Yeah, it was crazy. So this year, I think it was like my first 16 drafts, maybe even more. I did not get a top 3 pick.
Oh no! See, that's the worst.
Ever. I just kept calculating the odds, and of course, they kept getting longer and longer that would happen, to the point where it was like 0.05%. I was like, "Holy shit!"
You've got the best ball bro badge. Like, I'm shocked you weren't in the top 3. Come on,
not red.
What are we doing?
we're on the clock here. ADP wise, it's Bijan, Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Let's go. I love Bijan this year. I feel like a lot of people love Bijan. So let's go with Bijan. I think that's a fun one. Let's do it.
Very, very fun player. Made even more fun to watch with that like overhead cam that they have there in the Mercedes-Benz.
That was like the social team needed a raise after that one. I was like, that's sick. They put it in slow motion. You're like, all right, I'll pick Bijan Robinson every single time if we get the slow-mo videos from the top of the stadium.
Yeah, it looked kind of like the like overhead scene in I think it's John Wick 4. I don't know if you've seen that, but like just like crazy action, this like long scene that's like entirely shot overhead. Really, really cool stuff. And got a whole string of running backs going off here. Wow, Christian McCaffrey goes.
Wow, Lad McConkey the first. No, okay. Are we still in the first round?
Yeah, we're in the first round.
My gosh, I literally was like, maybe I blinked and we're already in the second. That's insane. Listen. For as many drafts as we do, I'm always team get your guy. But I just thought that maybe I blinked and we were in the second round because that was crazy. Wow.
That's how fast the Underdog drafts are now with the 20-second shot clock. You blink your eyes and Lad McConkey.
This is an interesting draft already.
Yeah, it's a wild one.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it when people get nuts.
Jeremy's at the 12 spot. Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. That's a good. Wow, this is nice. Really nice. Are you back on CMC? I feel like that's the big question is CMC. He's going to be the most polarizing.
Yeah, I think whenever you're volume drafting and you're doing these, larger field term, like you just have to. You have to. There's not a lot of these guys, I think, in the first round that you can fade, but especially McCaffrey, just knowing what his ceiling is in a season, like it's RB1 and it's the most points in fantasy. About to be back up on the clock here, one pick away. And we're on the clock. Jonathan Taylor,
Here we
Bucky
go.
Irving, Tyreek
Hmm.
Hill, T. Higgins.
Who do you like? What do you like to do?
I mean,
I'm more. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Whoever
Let's
you
let's
want.
do let's do Tyreek Hill. Let's do it for I haven't taken enough Tyreek Hill. Sometimes this season out of more than in the past, I've been very much like a little hero RB kind of draft where I just, anchor my team with a solid running back and then go along my merry way. Cause last season I was so heavily zero RB and it felt like almost every single running back stayed healthy for the whole season. So it was kind of crazy to see all those running backs stay healthy, and we love to see it, but the Derrick Henrys, the Saquons, and so it kind of was like I was like that SpongeBob meme where I was looking out and I was looking at everyone having fun with their like amazing elite running backs, and I'm like, okay, Chase Brown still did us well, same with Bucky Irving, but this year more than most, I've done a lot of like hero RB kind of drafts.
Back on the clock. Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Oh,
Chase Brown, Adams, JSN.
let's do Devontae. That sounds like a fun one.
Yeah, it gives us
Why not?
a week 17 correlation with
Exactly.
the Falcons. That's a game that could easily be a shootout, and not just a
Hmm.
shootout, but like a shootout between two offenses who are like so consolidated with their touches between like their stars, right? We know McVay, whoever like his top, Puka and Cooper Cup for a while, right until Cooper
Hmm.
Cup kind of fell off a little bit. Then Atlanta, obviously, we saw all the targets that Drake London and Darnell Mooney got last
Yeah.
year, and it's like really big workload for Bijan Robinson. So if we get a big shootout game there, like it's probably going to be concentrated between these guys like Bijan, Devontae Adams, Puka, and Drake London, Darnell Mooney. Uh,
Yes. I just I like Devontae Adams. So last year I had 0% Devontae Adams just because I just did not like where he was. I didn't like the quarterback situation. And even though it was Devontae, it wasn't necessarily fading him because of his skill, but it was more so because of the environment that he was in. Then once he was traded, I was like, oh, well, here we go. Like, this is where I'm going to just feel so dumb. But Devontae Adams in this offense for a team that, obviously I'm a Seahawks fan. So I want to believe in Cooper Cup. But to me, you look at what Cooper Cup was able to do with the Rams and they were so comfortable being like, we don't need your services anymore. That drop off feels like we're there, unfortunately, and he could maybe bounce back, but it feels like the best days for Cooper Cup are behind him. But you don't feel the same way about Devontae Adams. He was peppered with targets with Aaron Rodgers over there, his best friend. And so to me, I feel like there's a lot still left for Devontae Adams. Now you pair him up with a team that has Super Bowl aspirations that I believe could still get back there. Like I'm excited for this offense, and for Devontae Adams to be with Stafford is even better to me.
Absolutely. And he doesn't even have to be the guy there, right? Like there's
Exactly.
you got Puka on the other side that teams have to worry about, and
Yeah.
just one of the best receivers in the league now, like one of the most dangerous receivers in the league. And Devontae Adams, he's getting a little bit older, but he's never been a guy that's won on speed. He's just such
Hmm.
a craftsman when it comes to route running and all the technical stuff there. We got
Yeah.
a report here from Zach. He's in the 8 spot. He took Lad. He had Nico and Lad
I
queued up.
like
They have
it.
a week 17 correlation. He wanted Puka. Try to draft Puka. It froze.
Oh
Try to
no.
re-raise the queue and it wouldn't let him.
That's
Oh,
the
been there,
worst.
pal. Been there.
We've
And,
we've all been there. Oh my
is
gosh.
it Jazz or Jaws?
Yes,
J-O-Z.
whichever.
Dig the
Thank
cat.
you. We love
Seahawks.
we try to love the Seahawks. It's just I am cautiously no, I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I'm not very optimistic to be totally honest, but that's okay.
We are back on the clock. Tetaroa McMillan,
Um,
Xavier Worthy, Jalen Hurts, Devontae
mm,
Smith at the top here.
let's do Tet. I haven't taken enough Tet and I've talked really well really highly about him. I know that offense, like people are going to look at that offense and be like, it's Bryce Young, it's not super sexy, and it's not, but I think we have him projected for, one of the just a ton of targets for 2025. So when you look at the volume and we want to chase volume and just what he could have, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, people here on the channel know how big I am on Tataroa McMillan.
Yes.
I think I had 15% there
Nice.
before we made that pick. Getting him past, I love him at ADP. I love him ahead of
I do
ADP.
too.
So getting him like 5 picks past ADP is a dream scenario for.
Yeah, we haven't projected 100 and I think it's 125 targets on the year, so we know what that's gonna bring.
Back on the clock, Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Waddle, Travis Hunter, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley.
Let's do. You know what I like? Is Chuba? Yeah, let's do Chuba. Why not? Little
Yeah.
back to back. We can get a sneaky Bryce Young stack in the back end.
Yes.
That could be a good one. Not that necessarily like when people say, "Hey, Bryce Young," he had such a good finish to the season last year, but it's still like when we say he could be, have a solid season, it doesn't mean that we think that he's like QB 15.
Yeah.
He's not going to be inside that, but he could. I mean, he really did do so well towards the end of last year, so there could be some, saving graces with him in 2025.
Well, we have an accusation in the chat that we are being West Coast elites. That we're in on T-Mac because of our West Coast bias. No, I'm in on T-Mac for so many reasons. First of all, just really great fit with Bryce Young, with the things that Bryce Young does well. A great fit with this Dave Canales offense. Talked on Wednesday about just like all these green flags that we're getting from the Panthers, and Dave Canales saying like right after they drafted him, just kept talking about what a huge threat T-Mac is in the red zone, just like over and over, kept talking about that at like different points throughout the press conference. So that's really big, saying that, when you turn on someone's tape, you can see if they're a baller or not. And like you turn on T-Mac's tape, like this guy is an absolute baller. Like you see that. I just think like we're going to get what Dave Canales was saying about Deontay Johnson before last season about, hey, the pass game is going to run through him. We're going to be looking for him. Like the very first thing when we snap the ball is, where is Deontay Johnson at that X spot? And I think we'll end up getting a kind of similar quote about Tataroa McMillan from.
I hope so. He went to Arizona and I went to ASU, so I would never intentionally pick, U of A players unless we really like them, I promise. So I like it. He's going to be good. He was really like Dwayne liked him in the rookie supermodel that he does over on our website at fantasylife.com. So, it was a class that didn't have, super strong receivers, but he's still going to be good. He really is.
I believe it. We are on the clock. Chris Olave, David Montgomery, Jacoby Myers, Caleb Johnson,
Quinshawn. Let's go. Oh man, let's go Swift. Let's do a little
Swift. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Just for fun. If we got him. Sorry, I took too long.
No problem.
I want to change it up. I've got good shares of Caleb Johnson and Quinshawn Judkins. Like I like both of those guys. Swift isn't always interesting to me because like it's almost one of those things where I think to myself, okay, are we missing something here? They didn't go. I thought they were going to draft someone. There were the rumors before the draft started that they were going to try and go up and get, Ashton Genty, which would have been crazy. But, for me, I was like, hey, he doesn't have much competition back there besides Roschon. I know they went out and drafted someone else too, but I like that offense. So I kind of want a little piece of it where I can get it.
Yeah, we've been getting some good coach speak from Ben Johnson on DeAndre Swift, talking about his explosiveness, definitely, how they can use him in the pass game, talking about, he's a home run hitter.
Yeah.
A little bit of coach speak that's not quite believable, talking about, hey, if we need 1 yard or 4 yards, DeAndre Swift will get that for us. Well, if you're looking historically at his success rate, he will not get you.
Yeah, I was going to say
that 1 yard.
Maybe not.
But that's good wish casting there, Ben. Back on the clock, Jacoby Myers, Matthew Golden, Isaiah Pacheco, Jaden Reed.
Oh, let's go Golden. Just for fun.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I don't hate Jacoby Myers, but
yeah, Matthew Golden seems like such a wild card. Like I can see him absolutely busting, but I can see him being just like immediate kind of wide receiver one for Green Bay there. Like I know that Matt LaFleur is sick of being asked about, do they have a wide receiver one on the Packers? And we haven't seen them draft a wide receiver in the first round in a couple decades.
Yeah,
Seems to
2002.
be, this seems to be kind of like a Christian Watson replacement, like a guy that maybe they're just like, okay, he's never going to be healthy for us.
Oh my gosh,
Let's
he
go ahead
really
and get,
isn't.
yeah.
Unfortunately. I know, Adam Ronis, who does SiriusXM with me, like, he liked him a lot, and then he just kept getting injured, and it's just like, we can't keep we can't keep going back. We could, but and I like Jordan Love this season too. Like, I think, there are some quarterbacks where I believe they're going a little bit later than they should be this season just because, we all have recency bias and stuff, but I believe, like, you could be drafting CJ Stroud right now as the QB 18. And I think, we might not get his rookie season numbers, but we could be right in the middle where he still does outperform that ADP that he's going at right now. And I feel the same way with Jordan Love. Like, again, another later round quarterback where if you don't get some of the elite guys like we're doing right now, you can wait around for a little bit and just make sure to get solid receivers, solid running backs, maybe a good tight end before you make your pick for your quarterback. And I think, if you're willing to wait, those are some of the guys that I've been liking too. Jordan Love especially.
Yeah, they were kind of forced into running as much as they did last season with multiple injuries for Love last year. I mean, we know he's a capable thrower, especially downfield. So maybe that tips back this year if we get a healthy year from him, and we know that during Toyotathon, we're gonna get
in
a big explosion, a big Love explosion during Toyotathon.
Mark it on the calendars. Like, it's just it's always stuff like that that's so fun.
I love that he has leaned into it, and we got a picture of him wearing the Toyotathon sweater.
I love it. I really do.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. We are one pick away from being back on the clock. We're on the clock. Jordan Mason, Cooper Kupp, Kyler Murray, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Warren.
Let's go. I don't love, my thoughts on Cooper Kupp. I have drafted so much Jordan Mason, so let's just continue with the trend. Yeah, I think he's one of my most drafted running backs right now. He's gotten expensive. Like, a couple months ago, it was more fun to draft Jordan Mason in later rounds. But I will say I love Aaron Jones. Had a ton of him last season, and he really was good to his fantasy managers. But 31 years old, another year older, and he did have a few injuries last season. They didn't have a true guy really behind him. I think it was Cam Akers, was second on the team in rushing yards. So to me, Jordan Mason's like a good 1-2 punch for that team where they're going to take a little bit of the workload off Aaron Jones and be able to, have the 1A, 1B situation, I'm hoping.
Yeah, the vision last year heading into the season, Kevin O'Connell wanted like a little bit more of a split than they had previously, but Ty Chandler proved to not be a very good running back, and then we did see Akers get a little bit of run last year. We're back on the clock. Kyler Murray, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Warren.
No good. Oh, is Cam Scatterbo still here?
Is he?
No,
he is. You want him?
Let's take him. Yeah. Just for my ASU roots. If we take Tedero McMillan, we have to take Cam Scatterbo to remind people that we like we still like Arizona State. We need a tight end in here. We need a later round quarterback.
Yeah, well look at our running back room right now. Probably done at running back. Bijan Robinson, Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift, Jordan Mason, Cam Scatterbo, wide receiver Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Tedero McMillan, Matthew Golden. We're off to a good start. We have it's not like we're falling behind at receiver here. We're entering a part of the draft where it's a lot of QBs, it's a lot of tight ends. So we'll be able to grab those kinds of players here. Eddie Perez asking if we're doing another draft after this one. No, just going to be this one draft. Got a busy afternoon for all involved here. Speaking of former Seahawks, guess who threw for the 4 most yards in the NFL last year and is now playing all home games. And it's fourth, I'm guessing fourth most.
It's got to be Geno, right? Geno in Las Vegas?
There it is.
There we go.
And it's 30 touchdowns to 5 interceptions in
Look at
dome.
that. I love Geno too. Like, I can talk about Geno a lot, and for all the crap that he always got, to me as a Seahawks fan, that offensive line is awful. It's kind of still awful, but he did a lot to like make them look better than they were. And so him in that offense, like it wasn't great, especially when we got to, we can talk about the red zone inefficiencies, but I'm excited for him and Pete back in Las Vegas as like an NFL fan. That'll be exciting. I hope they do well.
Quarterbacks are now flying off.
Of course they are.
The board, and we are on the clock. So if we're looking at tight ends, Tyler Warren, David Njoku, Tucker Kraft, he's JJ McCarthy. Yeah, Jordan Love, if we want to grab him now.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, lock it in. Awesome. There we go.
We'll figure out tight ends.
Figure it out.
Don't need them.
There's a lot of really good like later round tight ends that I like. Yeah. So if you grab one early enough, not like early, but like kind of in this range, I feel like you can do stuff with like Tyler Warren or David Njoku.
Yeah, I do not hate David Njoku in that spot. Warren too. The Colts are going to be interesting because it's crazy in fantasy. We're probably not rooting for, but Daniel Jones does kind of make the offense more draftable than saying Anthony Richardson has the starting job, unfortunately, because the completion percentage, I don't know. I think they should go with Anthony Richardson because that's the reason you draft him and you have to give him time to try and develop, but they're on a clock right now. That's for sure.
Yeah.
To win now.
The more I watch these like clips, back on the clock. If we want to pair Tucker Kraft with Jordan Love, we can.
Let's do that. And then we have Golden too, right?
We do.
I love a
nice little stack. Get our HP Love Kraft here. Living in the future, but hopefully a brighter future than you see in HP Lovecraft text. Board back up here. There we go. Got something. Yeah. Most accurate deep ball thrower, Geno, and most fourth quarter comebacks, 17 in the last 2 years, despite the O-line. Yeah,
despite the O-line.
Excellent deep ball thrower.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of Geno. I don't know about if he's a top 10.
No, we don't have to go that far. Like I'm not. No, we don't have to go that far. Or I'm not even drafting him usually, unless you need a third quarterback in drafts. But we could still say he's going to be good. Like I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I'm interested to see what Sam Darnold does for the Seahawks. That one makes me a little bit more nervous. But Sam Darnold under pressure is just something that we'll have to see what McDonald says.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Geno Smith never got like an endorsement deal from like a stationery company after that whole like they wrote me off.
They wrote me off. Oh, it's so good.
Sharpie or something,
I know, someone like a pen, anything to get in on that, anything to get the money. I know the redemption arc has been fun. We've had that for a few years now, though, of quarterbacks just like reviving their careers or just doing way better than people expected them. Like it's Geno, Baker Mayfield. Like we've had some big ones here. Sam Darnold. It's kind of like, could we get it again this year? That's always the fun question. Is like, okay, if they're going to keep doing this, who could do that this year? I think that's always fun.
Yeah, who would the candidates be this year? Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco.
Oh God, I don't. Joe, how Joe Flacco is still in our lives is crazy to me, and like in a good way. Like, but he really is still here. He's still kicking.
I still remember that like Ravens playoff game against the Patriots back. What was that, like 2014 or something?
Oh my gosh, it was. Oh my gosh, but yeah, Daniel Jones is a good one though. We've seen it.
We are on the clock. Trevor Lawrence. If we're looking at QB, Tua, we could grab here to stack with Tyreek. Yeah. Tight ends, we're looking at Goddard, Ferguson. Any?
Not, I don't hate the Tua Tyreek stack.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
I like that.
And now quarterback is starting to shape up. Jordan Love,
Mhm.
Tagovailoa will get a third
I
at
like
some
that.
points. Yeah, we're looking all right. We're looking okay.
We're looking good.
Just take a quick peek down the list here of who's available. And yeah, got some names here.
There's some points when you get to the to the end, you're like, "Okay, we're
Hey,
we're good. We can just end it right now."
yeah, yeah. Can I get one spike week from you?
Literally, please, anything.
Begging. Um, yeah, there's a lot of different ways we could go here. Don't want to like tip the audience off too much. Some of whom are in here drafting
I
with
love when I
us.
do that accidentally, and I'm like, "Ah, there." I was on a podcast stream yesterday, and I was just like, I did the thing. I said it out loud, and it
But
just got sniped.
we're back on the clock. Dallas Goddard is available. Bryce Young, if we wanted to, and there and receivers Hollywood Brown, Dobbs,
Mm.
Besh.
Let's do the Bryce Young just to finish it off. I don't usually draft that way, but we have I think we have Chuba and Ted, right? If I
We
remember
do.
correctly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so
And,
we're done with quarterback.
yeah. Yeah. And with like getting quarterback kind of later to like just kind of stack them up,
Mhm.
uh, 1, 2, 3 kind of
Yeah.
that area works out ADP wise. Would if it's like, especially in rooms like this, you can end up like if we don't take a QB there, it could end up being like Jordan Love, Tua, and then Tyler Shuck.
Mhm. Mhm.
Which like I'm fine adding Shuck on as a QB3 with stuff like Drake May, Trevor Lawrence. All right,
Yeah.
put on a Shuck there, but especially with Tua involved, I mean, is he going to play
I
17
know.
games?
History has shown us maybe not. I hope he does though. But you're right. That's whenever I take Tua in a draft, I always make sure to maybe not wait as long as I would in other drafts for quarterbacks, like you said, just to make sure we get someone in there that could still be starting if he does go down for that third QB.
Did you do your Scott Fishbowl
I did.
already?
Yes, I did. We were the first ones, and we drafted live in Las Vegas, and it was so fun. It was my first time doing the Vegas live draft because I usually do the one down here in LA. But it was difficult because we were the first ones to draft for the whole thing, so we had no, cheat sheets, no regular ADP, so we were just all kind of flying through it. And I did something. I did zero quarterbacks just for fun and for the content to see how it would go, because
Mhm.
the scoring is just so different this year, where it's just like all flex players. So for the content, I did a zero QB draft, which was weird and felt really gross, but it was still fun.
We're on the clock. If we wanted to double up with Romeo Dobbs, we could do
Okay.
that. Brenton Strange is out there at tight end. Um, yeah,
I like the Dobbs. I think we need a few more
yeah,
receivers because we're at
for
4.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or no. Yeah, are we? Yeah,
yeah. We're
for
at
sure.
4. We'll probably end at 7. We'll do
Yeah.
like 3-5-7-3 build here,
Yeah.
and I think that'll work well for us. We'll be back up in 6 picks. And like I said, yeah, with the Tucker Craft, like we don't have to, like we could do our last 2 picks as tight end and
Yeah.
still end up with a pretty decent tight end room.
I agree.
You have any feelings on Harold Fannin?
And I have maybe taken him one time. So I have no I'm trying to get back in when I look at, teams that I try to push away my recency bias and be like, "Oh, everything's going to be okay with this team." But I have not drafted, I will say, a lot of Harold Fannin this season. Not to say that I don't like him, but I've been actually going for, the first 5 tight ends. I like Evan Ingram. I think he's my most drafted tight end so far this season. But I'm just trying to tell myself that maybe Cleveland won't be as bad as I'm thinking. But I do think, with who he has in front of him, with Njoku. I like Harold Fannin much more in Dynasty than any kind of best ball redraft format.
We're back on the clock here. Brenton Strange, Demario Douglas, Mike Gesicki, Zach Ertz, Michael Wilson.
What are we? I don't know. Brent Douglas. I don't know.
We got Strange.
Who'd we
That's
get?
all right.
That's fine. That's fine.
Strange.
He's someone I've seen a lot in the breakout, the breakout candidates, the sleeper candidates, because, we're a lot of, me included, back on Trevor Lawrence being good again. And with Evan Ingram out of there, it could maybe happen.
Yeah, it's one that it's one that I think about a lot. The Brenton Strange 2025 fantasy occupies more of my time than it should, or that I wish it would.
I love that.
I am thinking about it a lot because we saw him come on, but just kind of like in a short spurt, kind of end of the season last year. It's not like he just, oh my God, this is the next Travis Kelce kind of thing. But like he earned some targets and he looked decent enough. So like at least where he's going now in best ball, like maybe he gives you a little something. I don't think I would feel comfortable with him in a redraft.
Yeah,
league.
no.
Like putting him out there on a weekly basis in a league. I have no interest.
Especially if you're in smaller leagues, like he could probably be picked up off the waiver wire. I know that people like look at Liam Cohen and they go, "Oh, well, Kate Otten was featured, 87% of Tampa Bay's dropbacks last season." So they'll say, "Oh, maybe they." And I do, believe that coaches, when they go to new places, they bring some of that stuff over. So I think there is a path for Brenton Strange to be good, but now we're expecting not only, Brian Thomas Jr. to be excellent, and then you have Travis Hunter. It's like, how many, if Trevor Lawrence has to have a really good season to be able to support three, good receivers on that team. So it's going to be, I'm back in on, I will say I like Trevor Lawrence this season. But Brenton Strange might be where I draw the line.
Drawing a line in the sand.
I like him. He's the cheapest one that you can get, I guess. So if you want a piece of it and you do think Trevor Lawrence is going to be good, you can go after Brenton Strange.
Yeah. You can go after Brent. You can also go after De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. All right, coming up on our pick here, and speaking of, De'Ami Brown is available. Mason Taylor, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my God, Darren Waller, no. We can't
do that. I'm so out on
I can't do it.
Yeah. Darius Slayton as well. Dante Thornton.
Woof. See, this is the part where I'm just like, oh my gosh. I can't do Darren Waller though. Pick any receiver and I'm good.
Okay. All right. I think we'll do De'Ami Brown here.
Yeah. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence being good, De'Ami Brown, come on down. Please. I can't with Darren Waller. I really can't.
No, you just can't. I can't either. It's impossible.
I can never tell if people are joking or not when they're like, Darren Waller, comeback season. And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think look at his ADP. Like he's in the 187 now already, after not being drafted in so many drafts. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll talk about it after our pick, but I'll just machine gun go through it real quick. Bunch of big injuries in his career. He's old. He didn't love football enough to play last year, and now all of a sudden, we think this guy is the key to unlocking late tight end. I don't think so. Back on the clock here, Dante Thornton, Darius Slayton. I think Slayton would probably be my pick. I think he fits this room really well.
And then we can end with maybe one more tight end.
Yeah.
Maybe. Not Darren Waller.
Not Darren Waller. Definitely not.
Although, if we do win the 2 million, because of Darren Waller, I think I saw a comment about that. Maybe we'll have to tell him thank you. Be like, actually, I'm sorry for doubting you.
I'm not sorry. Not sorry, not
Only
sorry.
if you win us millions could we be
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. And,
Oh,
he's a guy
man.
who quit football because he
I
didn't wanna
know.
block. He's a tight end.
He wanted to go after his music career, remember?
Yeah,
And then divorce, Kelsey Plum. Tough. Tough look.
bad bad run out for Darren Waller, and I will not be aiding and abetting this comeback he's trying to make.
I know. What are
So
the Dolphins doing?
right.
Also, like, we have to blame the Dolphins, really. What's going on?
Yeah, relatedly, there's something that ties the Dolphins and Seahawks that I'd like to ask you about
Oh
after
god.
this draft
Yes.
concludes here in a couple of minutes, and tight ends are starting to all the late tight ends are being gobbled up.
Dang
Right.
it. Look,
Where
Darren Waller's gone, though.
yeah, thank God. Where did he go?
Where'd he go?
Where did he
Wait, did
go?
he? Oh, no, he didn't. I swear I didn't see
He's
him,
still
though.
available? Oh, there we go.
Oh,
He's still
perfect.
he's
Just for us.
what a sneak. Just hi just hiding in the
So
grass,
bad. Oh my
trying
god.
trying to get us to auto draft him.
He wants us to draft him for
Nope,
sure.
not gonna work, Darren. You can
Sorry,
make
Darren.
all the like R&B videos you want, trying to woo me to take you, and it's not gonna
The
work.
breakup videos.
Wow,
Sad.
Ben Sennett was just taken when they're
Perfect.
God. That's crazy to me that his ADP is above so many of these guys. All right, we're
Yeah.
on the clock. Jatavian Sanders we could pair with Bryce Young, Theo Johnson,
Yeah. I
Patrick
like either
Myers.
Sanders or, Johnson there.
Okay,
Whichever you want.
I'll get a little more JT
There
Sanders
we go.
here. All right. Let's take a look
Woo!
at our team. Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, Bryce Young at QB. Running back, we got Bijan Robinson, Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift, Jordan Mason, Cam Scatta Boys. Mount up. Had the Badge Bros on Wednesday. They were big Scatabo.
Yes. Love to hear that.
Scataboo guys. God, I got to remember it's Scataboo, which
I
I say like
know.
98% of the time. Every once in a while, I'll say Scatabo because other people are saying Scatabo, and it's
Yeah.
seeps into my brain. All right, sorry, back to the team. Wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Tetaroa McMillan, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, De'Ami Brown, Darius Slayton. And at tight end, Tucker Kraft, Brenton Strange, and Jatavian Sanders. How are you feeling
Winner.
about this
Good. I
team?
love it. I love it. We got to hang out. We got to talk, and that's the most important part. And we got some. Well, I like the Jordan Love. The later quarterbacks again is something that I'm usually going for, but I like it. I think it's good.
Hell yeah. Let's name this draft Kendall Valenzuela. Guaranteed win. Just guaranteed. Just
A
guaranteed.
thousand, a
Just
thousand percent.
guaranteed.
You got to manifest that for
Yeah.
sure.
Winner for sure. All right. Hold on. Get to the out on Waller. Why? Well, I think I said why. I believe.
The auto tune.
Yeah, just like he's old. He's had a bunch of injuries. Like he gave up on football last year, and all of a sudden he has like the passion to come back. I'm not buying it. The dude quit football because he didn't want to block people. He's a tight end. That's like your number one job, brother.
Fair.
All right. So yeah, quick thing I want to ask you about before I let you go. I was talking with the Badge Bros on Wednesday about Mike McDaniel and how he may be one of these coaches who's like a really outstanding coordinator, but may not be cut out to be a head coach. We've only seen Mike Macdonald in the head coach role for 1 year in Seattle. So it's a bit too early to say which category he falls into, but I know that you're a big Seattle Seahawks fan. So I just wanted to hear what you think about Mike Macdonald after year one.
I like Mike McDonald. I'm always anyone that watches or listens to me, I'm going to err on the side of optimism and just hopefulness. I am more excited this year to see what Clint Kubiak can bring to the offense just a little bit more and see if that dynamic between them makes it a little bit better. Because I know, first year head coaches don't, usually sometimes they can, do very well. And for McDonald coming in under, the circumstances where it was like, wow, it was, I didn't see Pete Carroll leaving. I just truly didn't. He had a a good defense, but defensive minded head coach going in there. A lot of changes where Geno Smith really wasn't doing it for them, like I said, in the red zone. And it just really, you had DK Metcalf, quitting on routes and all that stupid stuff. So I like McDonald's. I think that they're going to give him, a long leash just because of all the changes that went on. But for him, I'm more excited this season. First of all, make sure that defense continues to thrive. But then also on the other side, what Clint Kubiak's going to bring, and if this is going to be more of a run-heavy offense this year with Kenneth Walker, with Zach Charbonnet out there, and see what they do with Sam Darnold, because he's not a the thing is, he's not a quarterback whisperer. He's not someone that I'm like, oh great, they're going to develop Sam Darnold into an amazing quarterback, or a Jalen Milroe if he ever had to get in there. So I'm optimistic. I hope they do well, but I'm holding my breath. I'm not super optimistic about this season. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah,
I 500.
I am excited for the Clint Kubiak offense. I think it could be really, really fun, especially for Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald, just like genius defensive mind, and watching him in press conferences, it's just really beautiful to hear him talk about football. Like, he talks about football in the same kind of way that Bill Belichick would every once in a while, like when you could finally get something out of him, and he'd give you this 5-minute answer on, defensive fronts in the 1970s or something like that. And we get a lot of that from Mike McDonald, which I think is really cool, and shows how in tune he is and how much he loves. He's a football guy. He is a little bit awkward, though.
1,000% awkward. Did you see the video of Marshawn Lynch rubbing his shoulders during a game where it was you need to just take a deep breath? That's why I think first year head coach, you've got a year under your belt, and so you can come in just a little bit more, because he's young too. I mean, I don't remember the stat of how young he was when he was hired. If he was the second or third youngest head coach, maybe, but
he was the youngest coach I think ever in the NFL.
Hired. When they hired him, yeah,
I think he was 36 or something.
So he's young. So you get a year under your belt, and like I said, I'm hoping the Clint Kubiak hire does help the dynamic just a little bit more, and then you just continue to get better. Again, I don't know how much better you're going to get with a Sam Darnold. I can't look at Sam Darnold and say, wow, that's the quarterback, that's our franchise quarterback, for the future. They paid him like one, but there are outs in that contract. So I like McDonald. I'm rooting for him because he just seems like a good person, and just lead our team to some playoff wins, please. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Sean McVay was probably the youngest.
That's what I couldn't remember.
Crazy when
he was really young.
I know McDonald was the youngest head coach in the NFL at the time that he was active.
Yeah.
At the time that he was hired,
because Sean McVay was 30. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Oh my god.
Head coach at 30, that's insane. But yeah. So I like Mike. I'm hoping for some good, coach speak from him too this year. It's better than Pete trying to give us a freaking injury update. Those were the worst.
Oh man. Wild times. And now we got him back in Vegas. So I'm glad he's back in the NFL.
Yeah.
All right. Tuesday best ball karaoke. It's gonna be Ray Charles, Johnny Cash, and Elvis. Wednesday, we have Evan Silva on. Friday, we're still locking down our guest. This was awesome. Kendall, thank you so much for joining. Can you please let us know what you've got going on, where we can find you on your site?
Man, appreciate you having me on. I love all your work, and so this was absolutely so fun to finally meet you in person instead of just tweeting at you. But you all can find me at K Valenzuela over there on X or Twitter or whatever we're calling it right now. But give me a follow over there, and then fantasylife.com. We just did great new upgrades to the website, so if you haven't been over there, I always recommend it because we've got all our projections, all of our rankings, all of our articles from myself, Dwayne McFarland, Ian Hartitz. So that's the place to be. And then I'm on Sirius XM now. We just started up back this week, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific time. So it's been fun to be back with Adam Ronis. So we're on 10 Eastern to noon. So it's been good. You can find me there.
Hell yeah. Go follow Kendall. Go check out the Fantasy Life site. Looking slick.
Yeah.
You
It looks good.
Very, very cool stuff going on over there. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Peace.